Hey everyone, Effie here. Today I'm going to make these cards using our Peony Terrace background stamp. Now today I'm not going to be doing the traditional coloring or watercoloring that you usually see me doing. Instead, I am going to be coloring my stamp with Zig Markers to get a watercolor effect. So I started off by putting an A2 size watercolor panel onto my MISTI. I actually adhered it down right onto the grid paper that you see in the MISTI. After I've done that, I'm going to color my stamp using Zig Markers. For the flowers, I use a combination of pink and orange, and then for the greens, or rather for the leaves, I use two combinations of a lighter and darker green. Once I finish coloring my stamp, I'm going to spritz it with just a little bit of water. You don't want to use too much. Then I'm going to close the cover of my MISTI to stamp my watercolor paper, and then I'm just going to dab a little bit of the green where there's a little bit too much pigment. It's okay if there's a little bleed going on into your warm colors, because if you see watercolor florals, they're all over Instagram these days, there's a little bit of bleed that goes on and it makes it a little bit more natural and it adds to the interest of the card. Now, I spritz my stamp again because there is still some more pigment left on there, and it activates the color once you spray it, and then I stamp the second clean watercolor panel to create a second card. After my panels have dried, I'm going to rose gold heat emboss the sentiment onto the first panel. I use our rose gold embossing powder. Make sure your panel is completely dry before you do any embossing. For the second panel, I'm just going to stamp the sentiment in black. All of the sentiments are from our Strong is the New Pretty sentiment set. So once I finished with stamping the sentiments, I trimmed my watercolor panel just a little bit, and then I added some burnished rose gold tape onto the top edge of a top folding card base. After I trimmed off the excess tape, I adhered my watercolor panel onto the base. Lastly, I just added some dewdrops in our 5 and 7 millimeter sizes. The card is now complete. I hope you guys enjoyed today's technique. It's one that I've used in the past, but I wanted to recreate it using our Peony Terrace stamp because you just get this gorgeous watercolor result, and it's so easy to create and mass produce. That's it from me today. I will see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.